Have you ever noticed some of the changes or the big changes happens in our environment? And did you know that changes is taken over by our planet? And what do you think is the main source of problem why we are experiencing some of the issues, problems, or changes in our planet? Hello and good day. This is a record video presentations presented to you by our group. And we will have to learn more about the climate changes and environmental awareness. Now, what is a climate? The climate is the Earth's normal weather over a long period of time. It usually takes hundreds, thousands of years for the climate to change. But recently, our climate has changed or changing much faster. And the biggest cause of climate change is the humans, including you and me. Now, climate change refers to the long term of shifts or changes in the temperatures and weather patterns. The weather patterns is a type of weather stays in an area for several days or weeks. Such shifts can be normal due to changes in the sun's activities or large volcanic eruptions. Now, what is a natural activities? The natural activities like sun's activities, the sun can influence Earth climate. The sun also is a giver of life, and the sun it helps to keep the planet warm enough for us to survive. The next part of natural activities is the large volcanic eruptions. Now, what causes large volcanic eruptions? Deep within the earth, it is so hot, some rocks slowly melt and become a thick flowing substance called magma. It is usually happens when the volcanic eruptions happen. Now, the examples of the large volcanic eruptions is the Mount Tambora volcanic mountain on the northern coast of Sumbawa Island. The country is from Indonesia, and it happens on April 1815, exploded in the largest volcanic eruptions in the recorded history. Climate changes also refers to the changes in the environmental conditions of the earth. What is the environmental changes? Including the temperature, sunlight, rainfall, pollution, climate, water quality, and the green spaces. Now, why we are experiencing some of the changes, including the climate changes? What should be the effects and who is the contributors of these problems? The contribute greenhouse effects, including the water vapor, consisting of 41 to 67%, the carbon dioxides, the fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, the methane. This is occurs naturally and generated by the human's activities. The nitrous oxide. Next is the fluorinated gases. In fluorinated gases, high global warming potentials included hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, sulfur hexafluoride, nitrogen trifluoride. Now, what should be the cause of climate change? Natural causes. Climate change is phenomenon. When you say phenomenon, it is the observable event or incidents. Or in Tagalog, this is main called by kababalaghan. But it is also driven by variations in the solar radiations, volcanic eruptions, and earth cycles. Next is the solar radiations. It is the electromagnetic radiations emitted by the sun. This is also known as sunlight or the solar resources. It is also a primary energy source for life on Earth. Next should be the volcanic eruptions. Explosions of gases, rocks, fragments, and or molten lava from within the Earth through a vent onto the Earth's surface or into the atmosphere. The Earth cycles, rock cycles, water cycles, nutrient cycles, carbon cycles, nitrogen cycles, food chains cycles, and energy cycles are some of the examples of the Earth cycles. Earth cycles is an important. They allow life to thrive, circulating energy and elements like carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygens, sulfur, and phosphorus to the biosphere, atmosphere, oceans, and solid earths. Man-made causes. The man-made causes, this is the events or situations that are the results of human actions rather than natural process. Now, what should be the natural process or the human actions? And human actions included generating power, generating electricity and heat, burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas causes a large chunk of global emissions. Most electricity is still produced from fossil fuels. Quarterly comes from wind, solar, and other renewable sources. Now, in this new technology, we are embracing some of the renewable sources. For example, the solar. Some of the establishments, houses are using solar panels to produce solar lights. Manufacturing goods and industry produce emissions mostly from burning fossil fuels to produce energies from making things like cement, iron, steel, electronics, plastics, clothes, and other goods are examples of the produce products from the manufacturing industry. Mining and other industrial processes also release gases. Cutting down forest to create farms or pastures or for other reasons causes of emissions since trees where they are cut release carbon they have been storing. This is also some of the examples of the deforestations. Instead of reforestations, people are more engaged in deforestations. The trees being stuck is releasing some of the gases. Using transportations, most cars, lorries, ships, and planes run on fossil fuels. Some of the cars or different kinds of cars are not going to run without using gases or fossil fuels. The fossil fuels is one of the first contributors to the greenhouse effect. Contributors of greenhouse gases, especially carbon dioxide's emissions. Producing foods requires energy to run farm equipment or fishing boats, usually with fossil fuels. Yes, it is. Some of the farm equipments uses by the new technologies and the fishing boats to produce foods are using also some fossil fuels. Growing crops can cause emissions when using fertilizers and manure. The methane is the main produced from the fertilizers and manures. The methane is a greenhouse gas that contributes to the climate change by trapping heat in the atmosphere. Now, behind climate changes, normally, when the heat from the sun warms our planet, some of the heat reflects back into space. But greenhouse gases act like a big blanket, holding some of it in. This extra heat can cause all sorts of problems for our planets. And the planets and animals and the people who live here, our ice, snows are melting faster. Our oceans are getting warmer and higher, and our weather is becoming more extreme. With more heat waves, heavy rainfalls and powerful hurricanes happens. Luckily, Many people in our countries around the world are working together to fight climate changes, and there are lots of easy ways you and I can help too. Like reusing things instead of throwing them out. Instead of driving, ride your bike or take the bus. Use less electricity and eat food grown closer to your home. You and I, we can make a difference. We can fight climate changes.
Good day everyone, this is Lloyd Fernandez in today's discussion where I'm going to discuss nature causes of climate change. Okay, so without further ado, simulan na natin. So first of all, we'll talk about volcanic eruptions. Okay, so when we say volcanic eruptions, ito yung pagsabog ng isang bulkan na nakakaapekto sa ating panahon. Naglalabas ito ng mga greenhouse gases like sulfur dioxide na nakakaapekto sa pagmatagalang pagbabago ng ating panahon. Okay, so isang halimbawa nito is yung pagsabog ng Mount Pinatubo noong 1991 na kung saan ang pagsabog ng bulkan ay nagpabago sa ating klima, hindi lang dito sa Pilipinas, kundi sa buong mundo. Ang pagsabog ng Mount Pinatubo ay nagpalabas ng napakaraming sulfur dioxide sa ating atmosphere na nagdulot sa pagbabago ng temperatura ng ating mundo na umabot hanggang 0.5 degrees Celsius sa loob ng ilang taon. Okay, so next one is orbital cycle. Okay, so ayon dito ang Earth daw ay hindi umiikot ng perpektong bilog sa araw. Okay, so sa madaling sabi, nagkakaroon tayo ng iba't ibang anggulo na kung saan minsan malapit o minsan malayo tayo sa araw na nagresulta sa pagbabago ng klima. Dahil kapag malapit tayo sa araw, ito'y nagdudulot ng pagtaas ng temperatura, and then kapag naman malayo tayo sa araw, ito'y nagresulta sa pagbaba ng ating temperatura. Okay, so dahil dito, ito yung dahilan kung bakit nagbabago ang ating panahon. Okay, so pwede natin tawagin na tagtuyot or taglamig. Okay, so next one is solar radiation variation. Okay, so dito yung ating sun raw o araw ay hindi daw palaging nakakapag-produce na nakakapagpalabas ng pare-parehong dami ng init sa ating mundo na nagdudulot ng mga natural na pagbabago sa ating panahon. Ang mga pagbabago ng solar radiation ay maaaring magdulot ng mga pagbabago ng mga pattern ng panahon tulad ng pagtaas o pagbaba ng dalas ng mga bagyo, tagtuyot, or pagbaha. Okay, so next one, the sun intensity. Okay, so sabi ko nga kanina, dahil hindi perfecto bilog ang pag-ikot ng Earth sa araw, may mga panahon na mas malapit tayo rito, kaya mas mainit ang klima. May mga panahon din na mas malayo tayo dito, kaya mas malamig ang klima. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit may mga pagbabago sa klima sa mahabang panahon. Okay, so naaapektuhan din nito ang mga panahon at ang temperatura ng ating mundo. Okay, so moving on to man-made causes of climate change. Okay, so first one, fossil fuels combustion. Okay, so dito kapag sinunog daw natin ang carbon, langis at gas, ito'y naglalabas ng carbon dioxide, isang malakas na greenhouse gases. Okay, so ang carbon dioxide ay nakukulong sa atmosphere na nagiging sanhi ng pag-init ng ating mundo. Okay, so parang isang kumot na nakabalot sa Earth. Okay, so pinipigil yan nito ang init na makalabas na nagdudulot sa pagbabago ng ating panahon. Okay, so next one is deforestation. Okay, so ang mga puno ay parang mga taga-sipsip ng carbon dioxide, isang gas na nagpapainit sa ating mundo. Okay, so kapag pinutol ang mga puno, nawawala ng kakayahan ang Earth na ma-absorb ang carbon dioxide. Dahil dito, ang maraming carbon dioxide ay naiipon sa atmosphere na nagiging sanhi na mas mabilis na pag-init ng ating mundo. Okay, so parang nawawala ang ating tagalinis ng hangin, kaya mas lumalala ang polusyon. Okay, so next is industrial processes. Okay, so yung mga pabrika na naglalabas ng mga greenhouse gases dahil sa pagsusunog ng mga fossil fuels. Okay, so yung mga fossil fuels pala is ito yung mga labi ng mga halaman or hayop na milyong-milyong taon nang namayapa or namatay. Okay, so ito'y ginagawang gasolina. So, it means kasama yung mga sasakyan na nagpo-produce ng mga greenhouse gases na nagdudulot sa pagtaas ng temperatura at polusyon sa ating mundo. Okay, so last but not the least, producing food. Okay, so ang paggawa pala ng pagkain ay may malaking epekto din sa klima mula sa pagputol ng mga kagubatan para sa mga gagawing sakahan hanggang sa pag-aalaga ng mga hayop na naglalabas ng mga greenhouse gases at ang pagproseso ng mga pagkain. Ang mga hayop ay naglalabas ng mga methane, isang malakas na greenhouse gas. Ang paggamit ng mga pataba at mga proseso ng pagtatanim ay naglalabas din ng mga gas na nagpapainit sa mundo. Kaya ang paraan natin sa paggawa ng pagkain ay may malaking epekto sa ating planeta. Okay, so that's all.
Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing the effects of climate change in society. I provided 8 effects. The first one is health. Climate change can increase the risk of health issues through air pollution, disease, and extreme weather events. Heat waves can be especially dangerous for the elderly and young children. Yung health daw is yung pabago-bago ng klima natin, which is nagdudulot ito ng matinding init, tagtuyot at pagbaha na nagpapalala sa mga umiiral na problema sa kalusugan. This condition worsen existing heat problem and create new ones. For example, imagining a world where extreme heat makes it harder to breathe and diseases spread more easily. That's the reality climate change brings. Rising temperature can worsen existing health problems like respiratory illnesses and cardiovascular disease. The increased frequency of floods and droughts also contributes to the spread of waterborne diseases like dengue and cholera. The second is food production. Drought can harm food production, and people in places where they can't grow enough food may experience hunger and poor nutrition. Food production daw is yung rising temperature at pagbago ng mga pattern ng ulan and more frequent extreme weather events disrupt agricultural practices, making it harder to grow crops and leading to food shortage and price increases. For example, think of a farmer struggling to grow rice in a changing climate impacts food production through more frequent drought and floods, making it harder to grow crops. This can lead to food shortage and higher prices, especially for staple foods. The third one is infrastructure. Flooding can damage infrastructure and rising sea levels threaten coastal communities. Yung infrastructure daw is yung pagtaas ng level ng dagat and more intense storm damage roads, tulay, and buildings requiring costly repairs and reconstruction. For example, picture a coastal road being washed away by storm surge. That's the impact of climate change of infrastructure, rising sea levels, and more intense storms damage roads, bridges, and buildings costing billions in repairs. The fourth is displacement. Some communities have already been forced to relocate due to sea level rise and saltwater intrusion. Yung displacement now is yung matinding pangyayari sa panahon like floods, droughts, and storms force people to leave their homes, often permanently, leading to displacement and straining resources in new location. For example, imagine families forced to leave their homes due to rising sea levels or extreme weather events. Climate change is already causing displacement, especially in coastal communities. Peoples are forced to move to higher ground, putting a strain on resources and social services. The fifth one is economy. Climate change can reduce the productivity of the economy and GNP could fall by up to 61% in areas with water shortage. Yung economy daw is yung pagbabago ng klima is nakakaapekto in all aspects of economy from agriculture and tourism to infrastructure and insurance, leading to job losses, reduced productivity, and increased poverty. For example, think of a tourism industry struggling due to damaged beaches and coral reefs. Climate change affects the economy in many ways, including reduced agricultural yields, damaged infrastructure, and a decline in tourism. This can lead to job losses and poverty. The sixth one is wildfires. A drier, hotter climate can lead to more intense wildfire that spread faster and burn longer. Yung wildfire daw is yung ang mas mataas na temperatura at mas tuyong condition create ideal condition for wildfires which destroy forest, ecosystem, homes, and livelihood. For example, visualize a forest fire raging out of control, destroying homes and livelihoods. Climate change increases the risk of wildfire due to hotter temperature and drier conditions. This fire can cause significant damage to forest, ecosystem, and human settlements. The seventh is ecosystem. Climate change can alter the distribution of plant and animal species and change the timing of their life cycle. Yung ecosystem daw is rising temperature, ocean acidification, and changes in rainfall patterns disrupt ecosystem leading to species loss, habitat destruction, and a decline in biodiversity. For example, imagine a coral reef dying due to ocean acidification and warming waters. Climate change is a major threat to ecosystem, including coral reefs, mangroves, and rainforests. These ecosystems are vital for biodiversity, coastal protection, and livelihoods. The last effect is insurance. Insurance extreme weather events can increase losses to property, making insurance less affordable. Yung insurance daw is increased frequency and severity of weather events lead to higher insurance payouts, making insurance more expensive and less accessible for individuals and businesses. For example, think of a homeowner struggling to afford insurance due to increased risk, flooding, and storms. Climate change is making insurance more expensive as insurers face higher payouts due to more frequent and severe weather events. This can make it difficult for people to afford insurance and rebuild their lives after disasters. That's all of my part po. The next reporter po is Miss Comploma.
Good day, ma'am and classmate. This is my part po about impact of climate change in ecosystem. Coral reefs are bleaching due to warming ocean waters, impacting marine biodiversity and livelihoods. Rising temperature disrupt plant and animal life cycle, leading to changes in migration patterns and species extensions. Extreme weather events can cause widespread damage to forests and other ecosystems, impacting their ability to thrive. Climate change is a major threat to ecosystem because it affects their structure, function, and the services they provide. This disruption has cascading effect on biodiversity, natural process, and human well-being, Mitigating this impact requires global efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, conserve habitats, and promote sustainable practices.
Hello guys, especially to you ma'am. My assigned subtopic po is about impact of climate change in human health and livelihood. First is rising temperatures. Rising temperatures contribute to heat stroke and other health issues, especially for vulnerable populations. Rising of temperature daw po is dahil daw po sa rising temperature, maraming na heat stroke, nagkaka-heart attack, at nagkakaroon ng iba't iba pang health issues. The second po is water scarcity and contaminated water source. Increase the risk of diseases and threatens access to clean water. Dahil daw po sa climate change, kumukonti na lang supply natin ng tubig at yung iba pa ay naging contaminated dahil sa pollution. As a result, nagkakasakit tayo at nawawalan tayo ng clean water. The third po is climate change impact livelihoods, particularly for those dependent on agriculture, fisheries, and tourism. Bakit naman nakasama agriculture sa mga grabing matatamaan ng climate change? Because agriculture po is dependent sa magandang panahon para makapag-produce ng madaming crops at marami pang iba. Pag di po magandang panahon, di sila makakapag-produce ng maraming crops, di nila mapapalaki na maayos.
Communities can help mitigate climate change. So the first is renewable energy. So renewable energy is also known as clean energy, harnesses the power of naturally replenishing resources like sunlight, wind, water, and geothermal heat. It offers a compelling alternative to fossil fuels, which are finite and contribute significantly to climate change. So the benefits of renewable energy is reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve air quality, increase energy security, and economic growth, and enhance grid resilience. So major types of renewable energy is solar energy, wind energy, hydropower, geothermal energy, and bioenergy.
Good day, everyone. Communities can help mitigate climate change. So, we have 4 communities can help mitigate climate change. First, greening cities. Second, local production. Third, comprehensive plan. Fourth, decentralized energy distribution. First, greening cities. Planting forests and gardens can help reduce carbon dioxide, cool urban areas, and reduce flooding. So, greening cities refers to the process of incorporating more green space and sustainable practices into urban environments. This involves a holistic approach that aims to improve the quality of life for residents, enhance environmental sustainability, and create more resilient and livable cities. And these are some examples of green living habits of highly sustainable people. Number 1, save waste. Number 2, go non-toxic at home. Number 3, green your energy use. Number 4, bank and invest responsibly. Number 5, choose good food. And these are the benefits of green living. Number 1, preserve the world's natural resources. Number 2, green living is economical. Number 3, create change in your community. Second, local production. Production goods and foods locally can help reduce waste, lower transportation cost, and help local economies. Local production refers to the process of creating goods and services within a specific geographic area, often within a community or region. This emphasized short supply chains, reduced transportation distance, and stronger connection between producer and consumer. And here what makes local production unique. Reduce environmental impact. Local production typically leads to lower transportation emission as goods don't need to be shipped long distance. This can contribute to a smaller carbon footprint and reduce environmental impact. Economic benefits. Local production can boost the local economy by creating jobs, supporting local business, and keeping money circulating within the community. Support for local farmers and producers. Local production empowers local farmers and producers by providing them with a direct market for their goods, ensuring a fair price for their labor and produce. Example of local production. Community garden. Community gardens offer residents a space to grow their own food, fostering a sense of community and promoting local food production. Local breweries and wineries. Supporting local breweries and wineries not only provides delicious drinks but also fosters local businesses and creates jobs. Third, comprehensive plans. Communities can encourage growth in areas that are less vulnerable to natural hazard. A comprehensive plan is a long-term, policy-driven document that outlines a community vision for its future development and growth. It serves as a roadmap for guiding decisions related to land use, transportation, housing, economic development, environmental protection, and other key aspects of the community well-being. Here's a breakdown of the key features and components of a comprehensive plan. Number 1. Vision and goals. Vision. A comprehensive plan begins with a clear and inspiring vision for the community future, outlining its aspiration and desired outline comes. Goals. The vision is translated into specific measurable goals that provide direction for achieving the desired future. Goals address various aspects of the community. Policies and strategies. Policies. Comprehensive plans establish policies that guide decision making and implementation. Strategies. Strategies outline that specific action and initiative that will be undertaking to achieve the goals and implement the policies. And last, decentralized energy distribution. Decentralizing energy distribution can help with the negative impacts and climate variability on electricity transmission and infrastructure. Decentralized energy distribution involves generating and distributing energy closer to consumption using smaller localized sources, reducing the need for long distance transmission from large power plants. Key features of decentralized energy distribution. Localized generation. Energy is produced near where it is used, reducing the need for long-distance transmission lines and associated losses. Diverse energy sources. Decentralized systems often incorporate a blend of renewable energy sources like solar, wind, geothermal, and biomass along with smaller scale conventional power plants. Benefits of decentralized energy distribution. Increased resilience. Decentralized systems are less susceptible to disruptions from natural disaster or grid failures due to resilience on multiple localized energy sources. Reduce environmental impact by utilizing renewable energy sources and reducing transmission losses. Decentralized energy systems contribute to a cleaner and more sustainable energy future. That's all. Thank you.
It involves recognizing the interdependence of the environment and human life, and the complex relationships between climate, biodiversity, ecosystems, and human well being. So, understanding the interconnectedness of the environment and human life is key to protecting our planet. It's about recognizing the intricate web of relationships between climate change. Our actions, like burning fossil fuels, contribute to climate change, which impacts weather patterns, sea levels, extreme events. This change affects food security, water availability, and human health, and climate impact of humans. Raising temperature lead to heat waves, droughts, and flooding, impacting agriculture, infrastructure, and human health. Biodiversity. Ecosystem service. Biodiversity provides essential services like pollinations, water filtration, and pest control. These services are crucial for human well-being. Human impact on biodiversity. Habitat destructions, pollutions, and invasive species threaten biodiversity, disrupting this essential service. And human well-being. Dependence on the environment. Our health, food security, and economic prosperity depend on a healthy environment. Impact of environmental degradation, pollution, climate change, and biodiversity loss negatively impact human well-being, leading to health problems, economic instability, and social conflicts. So, by recognizing these complex relationships, we can make informed decisions to protect the environment and ensure a sustainable future for ourselves and generations to come.
Here are some ways to promote environmental awareness. First is educate. Teach children about the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. This involves educating the younger generation about the importance of reducing waste, reusing materials whenever possible, and recycling materials to minimize environmental impact. Example, pwede kang mag-organize sa school workshop kung saan ang mga bata ay matututo kung paano ang pag-sort ng waste, create ng crafts from recycled materials, and maintindihan nila ang life cycle ng produkto. Second is volunteer. Participate in cleanup events in your community. This involves actively contributing to environmental conservation efforts within your local area. Example, pwede kang sumali sa mga community group na ang clean up sa local park, beach, or forest. The third one is advocate. Advocate for policy changes through student governments. This involves influencing policy decisions at the local level to promote environmental sustainability. Example, ang mga student government ay maaaring mag-advocate sa mga policies tulad ng pagbabawal sa mga single-use plastic sa campus, pag-promote ng mga renewable energy source, o pagpapatupad ng mga composting program. Fourth, use less water. Conserve water by ensuring taps are closed properly after use. This involves being mindful of water consumption to reduce water wastage and conserve this valuable resource. For example, you could install low-flow shower heads and faucets, fix leaky taps promptly, and avoid letting the water run unnecessarily while brushing your teeth or washing dishes. Next, use less energy. Turn off lights and appliances when not in use. This involves reducing energy consumption to minimize reliance on fossil fuels and lower your carbon footprint. For example, you could switch to energy-efficient light bulbs, unplug electronics when not in use, and use energy-saving modes on appliances. Next, buy reusable items. Reduce your use of plastic water bottles. This involves choosing reusable alternatives to single-use plastics to reduce plastic waste. For example, you could carry a reusable water bottle, coffee cup, shopping bag, and food containers. Next is plant a tree. Trees are important to the environment. This involves contributing to reforestation and carbon sequestration by planting trees. For example, you could participate in community tree planting events or plant trees in your own garden or yard. The last one is support environmental causes. Donate time or money to causes that promote a greener environment. This involves supporting organizations and initiatives that work towards environmental protection and sustainability. For example, you could volunteer your time at a local environmental organization, donate to a conservation charity, or support business with sustainable practices.